We are live and in color. One of these days, I'm going to get my setup, like, all set up so I don't have to move shit. And I can just come in here and it'll be all done. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? How's it look? We have anybody in the house yet? I don't see anybody. UFC 298 is tomorrow. Tomorrow is the big day. Oh, I can't wait. Just sucks we gotta wait until like 6 o'clock for the early prelims. Main card. Western Mass, what is up, brother? How's your day going today, dude? You having a good Friday? Pumped for the fights tomorrow or what? Dude, can't wait. Cannot wait. I'm gonna get all juiced up on some Zinnichinis. A little Zinny Zin. Fucking, so, I was going to ask people today, because I was thinking about it, like, I have such a routine when it comes to all Saturday, all fights that are on, like, Saturdays and stuff, but especially pay-per-views. I have, like, my routine, my perfect Saturday with fights on. So, I'll wake up. Sometimes with my job, I'm on call, so of course, this is a scenario I'm not on call. We'll wake up, the wife and I will go get coffee. That's like our time to talk, whatever, hang out. So we'll go get a coffee, then I'll either go to practice or the gym, get a good workout in, come home, or get done with that, run some errands, and then I get all set up, dude. I'm like ready to I gotta have everything just right. I get 2 energy drinks, one for right when the fights start, and then one for like the main card. I like getting the Monster Revives or whatever. It's like the Monster. It's like a black and orange can, and it's not like non-carbonated. I'll get that all set up. Take a little Ripskis right when the fights start, and then I usually have like my phone or my tablet set up, so I don't listen to like the commentary on the broadcast. I'll have like MMA experts up, or sometimes I flip around between like them and Pub Sports. Then for the main card, sometimes I'll go to he's been in the chat before, but like that main card minute. So I'll like flip between that, and then when the actual fight is happening, I turn the volume down on my YouTube, whatever I'm watching on YouTube, and then I turn the volume up just a little bit on the actual broadcast, But yeah, then that's my routine for those however many 6 hours on a Saturday. That is my happy place, like that is where, I don't know, the world stops and I get off and I just chilling, watching the fights. So what's it like for you guys? You guys have like a routine, a certain way you like to do it, a certain way you watch it? I'm not big on like, guys where I train will have watch parties, or even guys at work or whoever, especially for like the big fights, like if Conor McGregor's fighting or whatever, like the big pay-per-views. But I don't like watching UFC with casuals. I'm above that. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know. I'd rather watch them by myself, or my cousin is a hardcore fan like us, and he lives right down the road. So sometimes he'll stop over. I will watch with my best friend. He comes over too. He knows like the grappling part because he does jiu-jitsu too. But he's not like he is a casual, like at best, But he's the only guy I know who watches like 20 some cards a year, and he couldn't name you 3 fighters. But I love the guy. Good dude. Anyway, what's your routine, man? What do you guys, what's your setup? How do you like to watch them? Do you not have a routine? What's the dealio? Paku says, I'm out exercising, bro. I'll be in the chat soon. I'm still yet to do all my bets. I'll be spending the 2 or 3 hours sorting that out. Yeah, dude. Let me know, man. Paku, too. So, like I said, before I get all set up to watch my fights, usually like after training or before, I go to the gym, I run some errands. One of the errands I'm going to run tomorrow is going to get you some Mafia merchandise. I'll be sending it out probably tomorrow if I can get there before the post office closes. My buddy at work was actually telling me there's a post office, not far from here that is open like till 8 o'clock at night and shit. So if I have to, I'll head there and ship it out. Sleuth, what's up, brother? Thanks for stopping in, man. Oh, dude, yeah. What's up with that? Junior's stepping in to fill the shoes of his big bro. You guys got to fill me in because I haven't been able to really get in any MMA content today. I got out of work. Right when I got out of work, I came home. I just jumped in the shower quick and hopped on here. But on my way home, I did hear, I don't even know where I fucking heard it, but I did hear that Junior is stepping in. So yeah, what are the thoughts on that? Western Mass says, not too much to it. Just make sure I got some food, snacks, have a couple drinks usually. Like alcoholic drinks. My fucking chair again. So that's the other thing too. I do like intermittent fasting. I try to be like real good about it during the week. But I count like main event time. Like once the main event starts on a pay-per-view, I count that as my Sunday cheat day. So I usually won't eat anything all day. And then around like 8 o'clock Saturday night, I'll try to like break my fast with like a protein shake or something halfway decent healthy. And then it's time for some pizza and wings and bullshit like that. Sleuth says, isn't Junior the better striker? He was already training with his bro for this opponent, and he had a fight of his own in a few weeks. Yeah. That would be a good question for Paco. I do think that Junior has like the more crisp strikes, but I'd be interested to know like exactly size-wise, how do they match up? Is Junior, I think Junior's a slightly bigger, isn't he? Paku said, I'll send them, Paku said, I'll send those bets to your Instagram if I don't make it back into here. Sorry I can't chat. And thanks for that, brother. No worries, bro. You got to do you. Go get that training in. I know how it is. Hap, what is up? Hap Chandler says, what's good, TJ? What is up, my bro? Western Mass. Couple cocktails usually. That's awesome. I'm just not a drinker. It's not my thing. I don't enjoy the feeling of being drunk for whatever reason, so I don't really have a cocktail, but I do partake in the ripskis. So, but literally the extent of my smoking is I'll take a rip like right when the fights start, the early prelims, and then like maybe one more during the main event. Or during the main card, I should say. Sleuth says he tries to eat healthy all week, then cheat on fight nights. Hell yeah, dude. Sleuth, you got a routine? I'm asking people what their in the beginning of the chat, I just gave a little breakdown of like my Saturday routine on fight nights. I have like a certain way I like to set it up. I want to hear from you guys. What's your setup, or does it not matter as long as you're somewhere watching the fights? I can't watch the fights with anybody other than like I said, my cousin or my best bud, he comes over sometimes and we hang out. But I found, especially now that I'm doing YouTube, I'm more into it. I even find myself like taking notes and shit during the fights, just so I one of the things I like to do is make a post-fight video, because starting this, I thought, like, what's the shit that I enjoy watching, and I'll just try to make some of that. And one of the things I really enjoy is like a good post-fight breakdown, like right when the fight ends, because especially if it's a bomb-ass main event and you're all like hyped up. Where I'm at, it's 1 o'clock in the morning when the fights end, so it's pretty late at night. And I like to have something to go listen to while I'm like laying in bed and trying to like cool off. And as much as I don't like his political views or whatever, but Luke Thomas from Morning Combat, for the pay-per-views anyway, does like a really good post-fight breakdown. So that's something I want to emulate, and I'll take notes during the fights and just come on here and give a quick little breakdown of whatever. So that's kind of my routine. It's switched up in the past few weeks since I started doing this, and now it's more like serious, Chandler says, bro, I just got a little eighth and some Russian cremes for the card. What are Russian cremes? The feeling of having bud available in your home but being responsible enough to save it for an occasion is so gratifying. I feel like an adult. Hey, it's the little wins in life, It's the little things that fucking make life worth living. That's how I am with food, bro. It's so hard because my wife and kid don't give a shit about eating healthy at all. So I'm surrounded by snacks and fucking delicious treats constantly. So that's why personally I found that the intermittent fasting works for me, because I don't eat it all while I'm at work. I come home, I try to make it a couple hours, and then I can, I'm not eating complete shit, but then I don't have to like worry about eating super healthy. I can, have a little more leeway anyway. Hap says, inviting some buddies over and they're bringing their favorite strains. That's awesome. We're going to all have some of that with those tasty Russian cremes. Let's friggin' go. Yeah, I was just going to say, what the hell's a Russian creme? Oh, flavored blunt. I really thought it was like a fucking pastry. Oh, I'm such a fat ass. I'm like, oh, Russian creme. Sounds delicious. I'll have to fucking see if my local bakery has some of those. Fuck. My wife brought home some crumble cookie. It's like, I don't know, some new fucking cookie thing. And I'm like, I love peanut butter. Peanut butter of all sorts, dude. I can just sit there and crush a fucking jar of peanut butter. But she brought me home like peanut butter, chocolate, whatever, fucking bullshit cookie, and they're huge. They're like this big. So that'll be tonight. I get done with the stream. I'm gonna whoop up some dinner, and then I'll probably hop on Pick'em's chat, because there's what do you call it? Some one championship tonight. So I'll be watching that, eating my chocolate chip cookie. Do I like blunts? Back in college, that's like all I used to smoke, basically. It was like I would go to class, meet my one buddy. We had similar classes in the morning, then we go back to my apartment at like 11 a.m. and roll a blunt with like a dime bag. Back when we called it like nuggets. Weed without seeds in it was like a fucking, like a specialty back then. Back in my day, back in my day, I had a Frisbee. You would have to like break it up and then sift through the stems and sticks and seeds and shit. Anyway, then I would like roll a blunt. Now with the way it is, I literally take like 2 hits a week. So a blunt would be pointless for me. I would take like 1 or 2 rips and put it out. I do enjoy cigars though, which is weird because I haven't had a cigar in fucking months. Probably because it's cold out. I can't like, I mean I could, but I don't want to sit in my garage when it's 10 degrees and have a cigar. I used to go to the cigar lounge and watch the fights on my laptop or my tablet here, but Hab said peanut butter is so insanely fire. Dude, it's so good. I mean, it's so bad for you. It'd be a great survival food because that shit is fucking packed with calories, dude. I could crush through 1,000 calories of peanut butter in like 3.5 minutes. I'm not even kidding. Nova, what's up, bro? What's going on with you, buddy? We're just bullshitting, talking about whatever. I'm asking people what their routine is for their Saturday, for their, big pay-per-view nights. In the beginning of the chat, I gave mine out. What I like to do on Saturdays. We'll go train, run some errands and shit, and then I get all set up with energy drinks and stuff. So I'm asking, what is your if you got a certain way you like to have things when you watch the fights? Nova's from Michigan. He said only 2 hits, you just don't like it? I mean, I don't like being too high, I want to be like just high enough where, I'm like laughing and enjoying myself. And then I'll get like the munchies a little later, but not so high where I'm like, thinking about my mortality and shit, Dude, I got some stories I could share. But yeah, there's nothing worse. Well, there is things that are worse, but being too high just sucks. Like, oh, you're all in your head. You want it to stop. You did it to yourself. Hab said, it's either watching it alone after hitting the blunt or with the boys. Only during pay-per-view though, because my friends are pretty annoying when they're bored and they don't like fight nights. See, that's exactly it. That's why I don't watch fights with anyone who's not a hardcore fan. It's either me, my cousin who's super into it. He's even on the chat sometimes, and then our other buddy Brandon. And if he's not like super into it, but we just make fun of him for it. And there's 2 against 1. But I don't go to like watch parties with people and watch the fights or like invite a bunch of people over that aren't into it. I just rather watch it by myself. Hap said, I stopped Bud for a while because of all the stuff like that. Did too many psychedelics. Ruined it for me for a bit. Some terrible trips. Yeah. Psychedelics are great when you don't look at it like weed or alcohol. If I take mushrooms, it's to have an experience that is more than just getting fucked up, altering your consciousness. Like, I don't eat mushrooms to like enjoy the feeling of eating mushrooms. I'll do it intentionally, with like trying to be all hippy dippy about it, But yeah, if you just take mushrooms like because you're trying to have a good time, you're gonna end up having a bad trip, That's we could have a whole big long discussion just on that. Like, I had like a really good trip. Me and my buddy went out to there's like a mountain range called the Adirondacks in New York. It's like 4 or 5 hours away from here. And we went out, just hung out. It's like beautiful scenery in the fall, and had like, like took some mushrooms. Not a lot though. We didn't go to the moon, like just enough. Had like a really good experience. I like journaled while I was up there and wrote down my feelings and got all dorky about it. Nova said, "Cop dumped it out and let me roll." Oh, I missed this one. Nova said, "I'm from Michigan. I was working in Florida, pulled over smoking by a state trooper. He found my bag of stems and seeds. Trooper called The trooper called it a Daniel Boone sack." That's funny. Nowadays, dude, you couldn't buy weed that has fucking seeds and stems in it if you wanted to. We used to call it backyard boogie. For like literally for $5, you would get a sack with enough to roll a blunt. Hab said, "Psychedelics show you who people really are. Stopped a lot of old relationships I had with people after realizing who they were on mushrooms." I've realized now, I've never been the kind of person who like have a ton of friends, but like in high school you have like a big, I had like a big circle of friends, like maybe like 10 of us, That's including like my buddies and their girlfriends. We would all hang out. And like the older you get, your circle gets smaller and smaller. I've realized like really all you need is like 3 good people in your life. And that includes friends and family, Now I'm super close with like 3 other guys that I consider like brothers to me. And I still got my dad, God bless him, and then my wife and kid, and that's my circle. Besides that, everyone else is just an acquaintance. Hap said, "I had someone who we used to just meet up and share a blunt and talk crap about people we knew. He asked to trip, and we were peaking, and he tried the same stuff." What do you mean? I had someone, we used to just meet up and share a blunt and talk crap about people we knew. He asked to trip, and we were peaking, and he tried the same stuff. I'm not sure what you mean by that, bro. And you realize, that like you didn't have a deeper connection with him other than just like smoke, like a buddy to smoke weed with and talk to. Yeah, dude, real like good people are hard to find. And sorry, this is like so far this entire chat is completely unrelated to MMA, but whatever. We're just live chatting. I find like as a man, like being a man, it's important to surround yourself with other good men you want to be like. If you're fortunate enough, like I am, to have a father who's a great man and like someone to look up to, but a lot of people don't have that. And even if you do, you should still surround yourself with people that, have the qualities you want to emulate. You are who you hang out with. Pops used to tell me that from the time I was a little kid, and that's what I tell my kid. And it's true. You're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you're like, "Oh, dude, all my friends are fucking losers," well, chances are you're probably a fucking loser too. Hap said, "Yeah, I felt like such a weird sense of being trapped in a bubble about talking crap and being fake when I was peaking. All I sensed from him was vitriol and dislike. I felt like I was with an evil presence. Yeah, mushrooms will do that, dude. They will, like, one of the things that solidified my belief in God was taking psychedelics. You know, it's so much more than you can explain to somebody, especially on a live chat on YouTube. But it's, you know, you get a sense, you get a feeling that that you're in another place. You you know what I mean? I'm sure you know exactly what I mean if you've taken enough mushrooms before. But you get a sense that, oh, I'm in this other place. And this place is real too, but it's different than what I live in every day. And you can conflate that almost to like different realms, I could say. And to me, it was like, okay, well, maybe, you know, heaven and God isn't like just this place you go to when you're in the state that you are when you're living. Maybe it's somewhere else, you know. Maybe my consciousness goes there. Heb said, I felt such a weird... Oh, said that. Nova said, that's wisdom beyond your years, bro. Thanks, man. It's true, though. You gotta surround yourself with like-minded people. Like I said, I hang out with 3 other dudes. We're all about the same age. The youngest one is just turned 30, and the oldest is about to be 40. You know, so we're all like the same stage in life anyway. And we get together as much as we can, and we talk about issues all related to being the best man that you can be. You know, nobody's perfect, but if you don't try at anything, you'll never succeed. If you want to be a good man, you got to try. You got to work towards it. So we just discuss, you know, it's a hangout session too. We just hang out and fucking laugh and shit. But there's always a topic, and one guy in the group will pick a topic for the next time we meet. Whether it, you know, I'm a dork, so I always pick like a book to read. And then we'll discuss what was in that book. Or like my one buddy got real into Stoicism and philosophy and like Marcus Aurelius and his shit. So we discuss that. Or sometimes it's like a workout routine or a challenge where like we did like a thing where we held each other accountable and we had to do like so many push-ups every day and just shit like that, you know, you work towards. More than anything, it's like an accountability group. And then what's great about it is when you do go through, you know, your trials and tribulations, which everyone will, you have people to lean on, you know. I went through one of the hardest experiences of my life this past year, and all 3 of those dudes were there. Like, you know that saying, like, oh, when you need somebody's help at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, you're going to find out who your real friends are. Well, it was literally 3 o'clock in the morning, and they were all there. So that's how you know you got some good homies. Hap said, I agree, bro. Changed me forever. Never doing it again. Made me think about myself more than I think one should. I love my family, friends, God, and MMA. That's what I need. Hell yeah, bro. That's my philosophy right there, man. I count friends and family as like one thing, you know. God and some martial arts. Ain't gonna get much more than that. Speaking of martial arts, let's talk some fights. What are you guys excited about? I heard there's some big fights going on tomorrow. Some dude from Australia is fighting some other guy from Spain or something like that. I'm excited to see Robert Whittaker get a good, a comeback win under his belt. I said before that I think 2024 is going to be one of those years where, like, the tides change. And I hope I'm not too right about that. And I hope, like, Ilya Taporia doesn't come away with the win tomorrow just because I bet against them. But I do think that, you know, guys like Izzy and Whitaker, and it could be Volkanovski, these guys who the past 2, 3, 4 years have been, holding it down and been the faces of the sport. We got a lot of up and comers, you know. I think the age of the Rachmanovs and the Kamzats and the Bo Nichols and all these guys are, they're coming for those straps. And I think 2024 we're going to see like a big tidal wave of change. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. You heard Volk's fighting. Volkanovski? Is that who you're talking about? Hab said, as you age, people don't laugh like they used to. When I was in high school, literally all I did was laugh. The key to life is finding that childhood fun again. For sure, man. One of the things we talk about, like when I get together with my buddies, is that like we'll text each other afterwards, be like, "Oh my God, dude, I haven't laughed that hard in so long." It's like as you get older, the responsibilities pile up. When you're in high school, dude, it's like you don't have the life experience to appreciate what you have, but you're at this time in life where you're old enough to kind of like do your own thing, like you're getting away from your parents for the first time, and you think you know everything. You don't know a fucking thing. You are an idiot. You're even dumber than you are when you're 10, because at least when you're 10, you know you don't know anything. There's nobody's dumber than an 18-year-old because they think they know shit. But anyway, you have like a little bit of freedom, and everything's brand new, and you don't have all that baggage that you've collected, when you're 36 for the last 18 years, and the bad days and the horrible experiences. You also don't have the knowledge that comes with it, but you're so much like more carefree. The problem is you don't have the knowledge that it's going to end and it's not going to last, so you kind of piss it away. And then one day you wake up and you look back and you're like, oh my God, dude, to be in high school again and have like your biggest worry is your second period social studies class, like that's your biggest responsibility, going to work your bullshit part-time job at Taco Bell so you got beer money, all the girls are beautiful and 18, like nobody's got kids. It's a beautiful time to be alive. I agree. At least when you're young, you got more to do. Never been as dumb as I have been when I was in high school. Ignorance is bliss. 100%. The dumbest I ever was when I was about 25, 26, something like that. And then you start to realize how you don't know anything. That's when you're like, oh my God. When you're 18, you're a moron, but you don't know it. When you're 25, you're also a moron, and you realize it, and you're like, holy shit, I don't know anything. All that shit that my loser parents and teachers have been trying to tell me for the past 10 years, oh my God, dude, it's all true. Oh, man. I am just whooped today, dude. I cannot wait for the fights tomorrow. Who's fighting on the one card tonight? I seen that Pick'em MMA said he's going to go live tonight for it. But not that I'm like really familiar with one championship fighters, but especially their lighter weight classes, they are enjoyable to watch. you know. I don't know. Well, for one, there's only three of us, and we're just rambling on about being dumb and in high school, and I have like no energy right now. It's pretty much you and me. I'm just rambling about shit. And find me a good topic to ramble on about. I tried bringing up my Tapology page, but I'm working off a fucking bullshit tablet, and it doesn't want to. This has got to be the most boring live chat right now. Bear with me. Jonathan Haggerty versus Felipe Lobo. I don't know either one of those guys. In fact, I don't even know if they're Muay Thai or MMA. But I'll be watching the fuck out of it tonight. The one dude's a double champ. And it's from the Lumpini Boxing Stadium in Bangkok, so I think it's Muay Thai, but with 4-ounce gloves. I'm not even 100% sure. I just love watching fights, so it'll give me something to watch. No, I don't know Haggerty. Should I? Hap said, "Tell a story of a fight you've been in." All right, like a high school, like a fist fight. You don't want the breakdown of my last jiu-jitsu match. So, the last, like, well, no, not the last, but a big fight I was in was I was in high school and there was this kid, Nick. I won't say his last name. I actually seen him like 3 years ago. He's a nurse now at a local hospital, and we were like, "Hey, what's up?" Anyway, so I'm in wood shop, and I spilled glue. This is the long version. I spilled glue and I didn't clean it up because I was a douchebag high school kid. And as we're walking out of class, the teacher asked, "Hey, who spilled this glue?" And Nick goes, "It was this asshole," or he called me some name. He said, "It was him right there." And it was me, right? And I was like, "Fuck you," whatever, blah, blah, blah. And we had words back and forth. And then I'd seen him like in gym class, and we had words. And we like started shoving and shit. And he was bigger than me. And I was a sophomore, and I just started wrestling that year. So I didn't even think of wrestling as like a martial art or anything. I was just a dumb kid. So, like one-on-one, I figured like this dude is probably gonna whoop me. He was way bigger than me. He was a senior, and I was a sophomore. So I came up with a plan. I'm like, and he had a group of friends, and I had a group of friends, and it started to build. And like his group didn't like my group, so I told my buddy Vegas at the time, I'm like, "Bro, I think I'm just gonna like next time I see him, first thing in the morning before like we even start school or anything, like before classes even start, I'm just gonna tee off on him." So that's exactly what happened. We came into school and we would all go to like the school bookstore and people would buy donuts and shit. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning, and he's in line. I get in line behind him, and I tap him on the shoulder, and he turns around, and I just like sucker punch as hard as I could. I just blasted him, and he's dazed. He like gets his bearings back, and we square off, and we start fighting. Because I hit him first, I like kind of had the upper hand the whole time. I tee off on a couple times, and then the wrestling coach, who was a hall monitor, like saw his opportunity to freaking live out his heyday, and he throws like this blast double. He throws like this blast double and just fucking blows me into this brick wall, which nowadays you could probably press charges on people. And he just, boom, blasts me into this wall and takes me down. And then he's like, I'm like wrestling around with him on the ground, and I look, and there's like 8 people fighting, like me and 3 of my friends and 4 of his friends, and it's this huge brawl, and it's 7 o'clock in the morning. And so he was like, that was fucking bullshit, you sucker punched me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, whatever, I kind of had to. And then, so they break us up, they call the cops and shit. And the cops come, and they're like, well, you know, everyone saw it, you hit him first, you're probably going to get arrested and go to jail for assault. So I'm like, wow, this really sucks, dude. Like, I thought it was just like a little high school fight. These people are taking it super serious. And then I could hear that kid's mom, like, screaming at the top of her lungs that she wants me arrested. And then I can hear she's, like, pissed off. I'm like, what's she mad for? They just said that they seen the whole thing, and, you know, I'm going to get arrested, and I started it, and it turned into this whole big thing. Then the cops come back in with Nick, and they sat down, and he's got, like, his eyes, like, swolled up now. He's all beat up, and they're like, so everyone saw it. It's a clear case of assault. We have it on video, and you don't want to press charges. And he's like, no, I don't want to press charges. And I was like, well, thank God for that. And then I also remember thinking, we are definitely going to fight again. Like, there's no way we're not going to fight again. So I always, like, respected him. Well, not after that. He didn't press charges. I'm like, well, thank you. And sure enough, a week later, we were in gym class, and we just squared up right in the middle of the gym floor and went at it. But we only got to fight for, like, seconds because the gym teacher broke it up. But it was, like, a fair fight. He didn't try to... I was really worried that I was going to get my retribution. He was going to try and sucker punch me. But I think because I was a sophomore and he was a senior, that if he sucker punched me, he'd look bad. Or maybe he was just a better man than I was. But we squared up right in the middle of the gym floor and went at it. It was mutual combat. The gym teacher broke it up. He didn't even report it to the principal, which, looking back, I think it was because he would have looked bad, like he didn't have control of the situation, and he knew we didn't get along. And we fought. That ended it. And then later on, me and my friends got a reputation for throwing, like, these big parties on my buddy's property in the woods. And I remember, like, his friends came, and we all just, like, we didn't become best friends, but, like, you know, we hashed it all out. It was all cool. We just used our fists. We didn't it didn't escalate more than that. But that was, that's a fight story for Hap. He is a savage for that, dude. I fucking, yeah, like I said, I seen him, like 2-3 years ago, and he recognized me, and I'm like, bro, I really appreciate it. I want you to know you were the better man in the whole situation. But yeah, let's bounce out of here. We'll go suck up some of AJ's 40,000 subscribers. And, yeah, maybe I'll hop back on. I got to go grab some dinner and shit, so maybe I'll hop on after that. But I agree, bro. Let's go. We'll go over and hang out with AJ. For sure, man. All right. Well, we got a solid 45 minutes of rambling in. Go hop on AJ's stream and maybe we'll bring it back here in a little bit. All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you watching. Later, bro. Go Bills. Peace.